We move in Diego. They move on my seso. 30 on my nuevo. Just made 100, I need 8 more.
So first off, again, I'm starting with a pad and some cleansing water, just cleaning it. And this time I actually did ask, and they have oily skin, so I put some oil control lotion and some mattifying primer on the areas where she said that she was oily. And then I put some MAC foundation on, and while I was putting the foundation on around her nose, I realized that it started to kind of sheer, if that makes sense. So I went in with some MAC ochre paint pot, and then it's a good trick if like on areas where it doesn't stick properly, I just put that around it and then applied the rest of the foundation, and it's a lot more full coverage. Basically, it's a really good trick. And then I started on her eyebrows, and I just followed her natural brow shape basically, and then cleaned it up with some pro concealer from the shade Porcelain. Here I'm just carving out the brows with an angled brush, and then I just go and blend it in with my Pamper Therapy sponge. And then for the top of the brows, I just outline it with the foundation that I used, which I think was NC15, and then I clean what's it called, shape it up, I guess, with the angled brush. And then I went in with a single eyeshadow from Revolution, I think that's the name of it, and then my Morphe palette, and I was just kind of focusing on the crease and the outer crease, and just kind of like deepening it up a little bit. To deepen it, I think I used a brown shade from the Anastasia palette, and I used some of Love Letter. I used a lot of Love Letter and a brown shade, but I can't remember, but I'll list it in the description box. Alright, so now I'm just cutting the crease, and a really good trick when cutting your own crease or someone else's crease is, once you've kind of outlined a shape, just get them to look up and like basically look in all directions, and then once they look up, if it's kind of normal and it hasn't like the concealer hasn't touched any other part of the eye, then you've cut the crease well basically. So then once you apply whatever you're applying on top, it won't transfer onto your other shades. I put some glitter glue on from NYX, and then I just put some glitter, pink glitter. I can't remember where this pink glitter is from, but I'll look on the top of it and I'll put in the description box. And then I put some Pro Concealer in Porcelain on the areas where I wanted to highlight, and blended it out with my Pamper Therapy sponge. So my camera cut out, that's why it's kind of zoomed out, because I don't actually remember how zoomed in it was, that's why, yeah. But I'm just contouring her face. I can't remember the shade that I used, but yeah, it was kind of like the contour shade wasn't dark enough, so I just went in with a bit of bronzer just to make it a bit more bronzy. And then I went in underneath her eyes just to kind of blend out the creases, and then I applied a pressed powder, just to set it a little bit. And then I went in with some MAC Prep and Prime and baked the areas you're going to see now. And then I went in with some more Prep and Prime just to set the contour, because the bronzing powder wasn't enough to set it properly. Using the same colours I used on the top, I go in the outer part of her lower lid and just smoke it out. I tried to not touch the inside, like the corner bit of her eyes too much, because I wanted it to have a blown out effect on the outer part of her eyes. And then I put some white liner in the I can't think of any terms right now. I contoured her nose, and then I just used a disposable one to add some mascara to her bottom lashes and her top lashes. I then added some blush and some highlight. I used Summer and Moonstone from the Anastasia palette, which is, I think it's Sun Dipped Anastasia palette that I used. Here I just set her face with some MAC Prep and Prime, and then as her request, she wanted me to overline her lips, so I just overlined it with some NYX. I can't remember the name of the shade, but again, in the description box, and then I put some pink in the middle of her lips just to match the eyes, and then I cleaned it up with some concealer just to make it a bit more neat. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This is the last tutorial. I really tried to upload every single day, but it was just really hard. I had some things going on, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this prom series, and I hope to have more in the future.